What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to talk about what's happening with what Cathie Wood just said about Tesla. It's very, very important. But just know that I am not a financial planner. So make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. Not to mention an 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. The offer ends very soon in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with Tesla and the markets. So Tesla's trying to push right over here, trying to hold above this 350 area. We'll see if this holds over a longer period of time. And so far, Tesla is outperforming the market by a large extent, looking very, very strong. Now, as Tesla's trying to push, the market's a little bit more choppy. It's kind of range bound as it's Veterans Day and there's less volume today with banks being closed. But Tesla's still doing a very, very awesome job and completely outperforming. So I first want to talk more about Cathie Wood, and I'll break down more details about this Tesla pump and what's happening with it. Just know this: Cathie Wood basically is oftentimes called out for selling Tesla shares, this and that. I've been seeing a lot of headlines keep on coming out like this if you look at the last week. But like I've said in my previous video, so if you actually look at the holdings of ARK Invest, right, they still have over 950 million or very close to 950 million dollars worth of Tesla stock with a 14.94% stake overall. So it's actually a lot of Tesla shares that they have worth hundreds of millions of dollars. So don't worry about these small sales of like 20 million or $5 million worth. That's very, very minuscule compared to how many they're actually holding. Now, another thing worth mentioning is that Cathie Wood was also on Bloomberg. She said some very important things about Tesla. I'm not going to play the clip because of copyright reasons, but I do want to tell you guys about what she said. She basically went on about how there's going to be further deregulations going on in the current administration. Then she talks about Elon Musk's role in it. She said that Elon Musk will most likely not have a more insider role. It's more like he's just going to be someone that kind of foresees what ends up happening. I think that's very, very important. I agree with her take on that. Then she started talking about Tesla, how it's very, very bullish with the developments of the robotaxi that are going to be made, and how she's very optimistic about what Elon Musk has been doing for the company and the path that he has taken in his new like role to just continue to oversee regulators and the changes that are being made right now to the U.S. government. She also believes that the SEC and many other departments need a lot more fixing, so she did talk about that as well. But she's very optimistic about the current administration. She thinks that things are going to continue to improve. There's going to be more deregulation that is necessary, and it's going to be very, very big, at least for the economy moving forward. Then she went on about how Elon Musk has done a great job at leading Tesla. He's going to continue to lead Tesla despite his role in politics. He's not leaving Tesla, guys. Don't worry about that. He's going to continue to do what he does best. And he's just going to have another different roles here and there, but it's going to be more like I said before, like in more of an overseer role. It's not like he's going to be literally in politics and just making like so many decisions. He's just going to oversee what's being said and done, and he's going to once again have an influence over the administration, which could benefit Tesla. So she was talking about that. I do agree with her point over there. Tesla continues to push because of the Musk and Trump relationship that is continuing. And as I speak right now, Tesla's now at 350 a share, still fighting that resistance zone, doing a very, very good job. So I just wanted to call that out. Once again, Cathie Wood did say some very important things that are worth mentioning, and she is still very bullish on Tesla as well. She also talked about how the future of Tesla is in a very, very good path right now as they're developing their robotaxi. She thinks that that's going to be something that's very innovative, and she kept the same word that she continues to say. She reiterates the same things over and over again about how she's bullish on the robotaxi and Tesla moving forward. With that being said, we remain bullish for Tesla. We're still holding it very, very nicely. Let's see if we hold above 350 or not. If we don't hold above that, I'm going to be looking for 347.5 around that area. And if that fails us, we're looking for essentially the 345 area coming next. But overall, we remain more bullish. The main range Tesla's been between 336 and 351, but we're starting to break past that right now. So Tesla remains bullish. As long as we're above 350, we are favoring the upside, and we could continue to push closer to 355 than 360 next. We remain bullish, guys. Tesla is very strong. It's still outperforming the market. As far as SPY goes, my prediction was correct about how SPY would gap up, then maybe start to slow down as time went on. We are slowing down just a bit, not enough for us to turn red, but we did slow down a little bit. If you look at the 5-minute time frame, SPY is very, very choppy, not that fun to trade, very range bound. Because it's Veterans Day, there's not really much volume coming in. We have tough resistance in the 600 area, and our support that's holding us up is around 599 to 5, this 200 EMA at 598.65, like in that range. So we're just stuck between that range in the 598.6 area to 599 as our support zone. And then our resistance is at 600, just going back and forth and back and forth. Like I said before, very choppy, not really doing much. We did come down to fill this gap. And we could dip a little bit more later on, but I just think we're going to be very choppy for the most part. Same thing with ES. So if you look at ES, we actually dipped all the way down to about the 6,020s, very close to my target. I was thinking that I might even get closer to 6,000 soon. We came close, but we're not quite there. But we're just range bound. So we're rejecting near like the 6,050 area, and we keep getting bought up around the 6,020, kind of just range bound. I think ES just remains like this for an extended period of time. For Nvidia, we have this very, very key level. So we basically pushed a little bit on Nvidia, but I said to everyone to be careful because Nvidia might push and dip, and that is what happened so far. So we pushed right over here back up to 149. Then we rejected as we were predicting. I was calling out 145. We actually went a little bit lower than that. Now we're getting bought back up to about 146. Then we could dip again. So overall, the trend is more bearish on Nvidia. We could be dipping to the lower, or like the mid 140s very, very soon, if not a little bit lower than that. So it's still kind of weak, a little bit more bearish in terms of its trend. For Bitcoin, we remain a lot more bullish. We're pushing for 85,000. We're probably going to try to break it. It is continuing to squeeze, looks very, very bullish. It's going to continue to push. Just keep that in mind, guys. Bitcoin is bullish. For NQ, we're range bound. So we hit 21,300. We failed to break past that. This is what I was saying was what happened. We would kind of like touch this and start dipping back down. I was talking about we might be coming back down to where these lows are around the 21,150 area. We came close, very, very close, only to get bought back up. So we're just range bound now. 21,150 is our support and 21,300 is our resistance. We're just going to go back and forth for now. We could dip more later, but that's all I'm seeing for the time being. For the QQQ, we have resistance at 516-ish, like very close to the 516s. We have our support all the way down here around the 512s. We're just going to be range bound for now. We could dip and end up losing 511 to start dipping to these lower levels. Otherwise, we're just range bound in my personal opinion, not really doing a whole lot. Apple's dipping exactly as you predicted. I said that we could be looking for 225 if that fails. As we come down to this next imbalance over here around 223.5. Instead, we dipped a little bit more, so we're still a little bit more bearish now. We were supposed to bounce off this to try to continue to push higher, but we actually are failing now. So Apple does look a little weaker. It's very range bound, though. It likes to get bought up in the lower 220s, get rejected off 235. So I think that this might dip a little bit closer to 220. Then we'll see if we bounce off that or not. So just keep that level in mind. Nvidia, not Nvidia, the IWM, we pushed to about 240. We're shuffling around the 240 area. We'll see if that holds. It still remains decent right now. If 240 were to fail us, we're looking for 238. Otherwise, we're just range bound between 240 and 242, in my personal opinion. For coin, we're more bullish. We're pushing out very, very nicely. We did dip a bit back down to 300 only to get bought back up. So we're looking for 320 as our resistance, then 325. Overall, it remains more bullish. Exactly as predicted, Amazon came down. We were talking about how this might be approaching 208 to potentially 205. We did come very close to that, so there's a risk of 205. Meta came down as predicted. I was talking about how this might be tipping for 578. We came very close to that. We actually touched that. Now we're getting bought back up, but I do think that it might dip a little bit more. Microsoft, lo and behold, it came down not only to 420, but it's actually dipping below that. That's exactly what I was predicting. We could be dipping closer to about this 416 area. Google could also be making a lower high here, so there's a risk of retesting 180, but I think it's just going to shuffle for the most part. So that being said, the market's for the most part shuffling, but Tesla is outperforming. It's up 10%, trying to squeeze. We'll see if we could break past 355. If we do, look for 360 and 365 as our targets. Overall, it remains bullish, doing a very, very awesome job. With that being said, guys, thank you all so much for listening. I'll see you guys very soon. The next one in just a couple of hours, hopefully. Until then, have a good day and peace out.